Wow, 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 wow. Caution. Caution. Red alert. Red alert. Shields up. Shields up. Hematite on. Jasper engaged. Rose quartz. Input. Frequency set. Team calm. Team calm. Team calm. History's engaged. Guides engaged. Angels engaged. Let's do this. It's Sundays with Suits, so get in while you can. We're going to the Bear and Wolf Den, Wolf and Bear. We're going to rock and we're going to roll. We're going to talk about dangerous things. Oh, if you're here, let me know it. If you're here, let me know it. Or I'm just start singing. Boom, boom, boom. Y'all probably like that though. So y'all can make a fool out of me later. I know how it is. I know how it is. Hope everyone is doing well. Sorry I'm late today. I got 6 people watching already. Holy smokes, that's amazing. That's amazing. So tonight we're going to talk about how to protect yourself going into dangerous situations. Now that's not just talking about going into a dangerous active zone, right? That's dealing with going to bars. That's dealing with going to schools, churches, any places that have strong activity. Now, here it is. Here's the rule I live by. If you're going to go on an investigation, think about it like you would want somebody to come into your home and treat your home and your things, right? Just think like your house is like an Airbnb, right? And you trust that everyone's going to take care of everything. So many investigators out there do not. They don't care if they break something. They're on the thrill. I'm a hunter. I'm gonna go out there and hunt. And the same person who comes home crying that night, oh my God, I'm seeing things. It's like the Ring, man. It's like the Ring. No, man, it's like Ringu, man. It's crazier. Where they change things. Whew, I'm gonna tell you. Oh my God, I'm freaking out. This is what happens when we do not protect ourselves and we do not honor spirit, honor the zone. Every zone should be considered dangerous. Now you might say, Suitsy Bootsy, that don't make no sense whatsoever. Why? Why would you say something like that? Why would you say, hello, Anna? Anna, can you come on over to the Things Network so I can make sure I get all your comments? Honor is an amazing woman. I mean, with a name like Honor, why not, right? But anyway, hello, Bridget. Bridget's over on the Suitsy Bootsy station. Y'all come over to Things Network. Say hello so I can see everybody. Amber Young, first one to come in, I believe. There are people who are watching. I got 5. We started off with 6. Now we got 5. We got 2 over here. 7, 2. So tonight we're going to talk about, first off, is your obstacles. I have this little box from Michael Story at the Oriental Shop. It's where I put all my money. Great thing. So I remind myself to never let money become an obstacle. Never let money become an obstacle. Have my little frog here, right? Make sure that we're always jumping, protecting ourselves. Always be ready. Always be ready. I'm gonna give you an example. So I'm off work today, right? And the boss called me and said, "You want to work today?" Now I could have said yes, because I could have bought back points or whatever, because my delinquency. Yes, I'm delinquent. I'm a good employee, but I'm delinquent. Y'all know how it is. People on a team, they're great investigators, but they're whatever could wouldn't hurt to have a little bit more I don't know, dampened energy. Like when I was investigating, I was super eccentric. I'm already super eccentric. So y'all can imagine I'll never forget the story when I first started investigating a team here in Mississippi, and they'd never met me before. I've told the story many times, but I came to the town of Rodney, Mississippi. If you don't know where it is, it's a great little ghost town. Great little ghost town. It had a Masonic temple at it. It has one of the biggest cemeteries I've been to. Some of the most craziest activity ever. But I came in suit, coat, cane, very expensive camera. I was the epitome of like, do not let this person go on an investigation with you. This guy does not know, or this gal does not know what they're doing. You know, that's how I was. I was lucky enough that I had people like David Childers, Paula Westbrook, Trey Birch, to say, you're a little bit too big for your britches. You got to earn. You got to earn your moniker. You got to earn people's respect. You just don't get it. You got to earn it. And investigating, that's so important, right? I hate to name drop. I don't like doing that. I think when people do that, there's like, you're just trying to get views and all that kind of stuff. But I am telling y'all, I'm going to tell y'all right now, I'm about to go, quote unquote, mainstream. I'm going to start doing TikTok stuff. We're going to have a YouTube channel. You know, we're getting golden because I got that really nice MacBook computer. You know, so that's coming in August, and we're getting a nice camcorder. So y'all's energy, man, let me tell you, men and women, the Creative Collective. Whew, I can't thank you enough. I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful for y'all. Y'all are amazing. But I'm gonna get back to what I started talking about. You know me, I go everywhere. But you have to protect yourself, right? For a long time, I didn't know about protection, and I didn't know about protection on sets. You know, you have to protect yourself when you're with people you don't know, because you don't know where they're coming. Hello, Paranormal Nation Radio. What are you listening to? I'm listening to Paranormal Nation Radio. Make sure you follow Paranormal Nation Radio. So anyway, all these things going on. You have to learn how to respect your situations, respect your places you're investigating, respect the teams, respect the histories, right? Don't go in there thinking you're the big dog, because let me tell you something. Then someone like the Undertaker is going to come and choke slam you to the bowels of hell. I'm just using colorful language here, guys, but it's true. Like, you will get taught a lesson. You will get taught a lesson. I'm watching Joe Pickett on CBS Paramount Plus, Paramount Network. Make sure you go and watch that show if you're not. It was a Spectrum original. Paramount picked it up. It's a great show. Really good ensemble, good work. Set in like Wyoming. It was a game warden, right? And he's dealing with things. As I watched that show last night, I was just really thinking about how we all deal with things as artists, as investigators, as advocates, as scholars of life and humanity, right? We have to learn. Like me, look, I'm shielded up, right? I'm shielded up. Last week was very different and strange for me. It's a perfect example of what can happen when you don't shield up completely. I was doing mediumship work, and I was just in the flow. I was in the zone, right? And then I went into the danger zone. I got really close. I got really close. Hello, Sam Thomas. Hello, Jeremy York. Right. And when I got that close, now Spirit didn't mean to get me go sick. They didn't mean to do that. That was not their intention. They just wanted to give messages. And we, as mediums, we have to be aware that every time we are in contact with Spirit, we are in the danger zone. Every single time. Every single time. Every single time. Because Spirit is there. It's the greatest thing. The greatest way to explain how Spirit may see things. There's a great meme going around a couple years ago where there's Spirit here, right, and then there's paranormal investigators here, and they're doing, shaving their haircut, dun, 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 right, and you just look at the spirits and they're like, son of a bitch, like, okay, just do it, and they're betting on how much that those investigators will go and look at the evidence and see if they respond, right? We have to learn how to respect Spirit more, right? They are not. It's not a circus, right? They're not. They're not monkeys. They're not elephants. They're a spirit. They are a powerful being, right? They are a powerful being. They don't have a form of flesh and bone anymore, right? No, no, they use our imagination. They use energy. They use, I'm not a physicist and I'm not a chemist. Like I tell people at work, I'm not a computer scientist, but this is what I believe. Spirit works in mysterious ways. And if we do not respect that, then it's going to give us a Batman smackdown that you cannot even imagine. You know, there's a reason. There's a reason why in like the Justice League when uh all the Justice League members they're sort of taken aback when they find out that Batman had this had plans for if any of them went bad, right? And there was no plan for him, and then he says, were my plan, y'all. We as investigators have to realize that we have to think like that. We have to think. We have to trust one another. Trust is one of the biggest things as an investigator, as an artist, as a creative, as a content creator. We have to trust that if I say, "Oh, yes, I didn't go hashtag danger zone. I could have. I could have gone hashtag danger zone because everybody's watching Top Gun too. If you're not, you're idiot because it's a great movie. But I didn't do that as a businessman. That's stupid of me, right? But as a person who's like, I'm not here to bank off of spirit, right? I've been there, done that. It's not fun. It's not fun. Investigators who do it, mediums who do it, teachers who do it, it's not fun. And I'm gonna tell you, uh, those receipts are coming to those, and we all know them. We all know those people out there who have been, who are just, we're just waiting. We're just waiting for the receipts. We're just like, oh shit, she's about to get a receipt, or she's about to get a receipt. It's coming. So we have to be aware. I used these cards last week, the quantum cards, but I've been using them all week because they've just been great. And I'm going to use the Metatron cards too because they're beautiful. But we're going to talk about danger zones with the cards. All right. I studied improv as an actor, as an artist, as a advocate, right? And I highly recommend if you are a medium, if you are an intuitive, you take some improv classes. You've got to have your brain working, right? You cannot just go and be like, well, spirit comes in and moves through me. And it's like a movie, like Ghost. And I'll show you magic, my friends. That's not how it goes. That's not a thing. It might work for like a couple of sessions, right? But then the medium, right? The intuitive is going to feel the effects because the universe is going to come to collect and it's going to say, hey, you're not respecting this yard. We invited you into this yard or garden, if you want to call it. A lot of people like to call it a garden. One of my first real medium experiences, I had a friend who had a person pass away, and that person brought me to a garden. Sat me down on a bench, and started talking to me. And I was like, what in the is this? Right? Like, what? Huh? You see all the gardens like movies, like, oh, it's so beautiful, little gate, pretty, right? But this was a beautiful place. And the person just came down, sat me down, told me some things I still to this day do not understand. But that was it. So we have to respect those. We have to respect the garden. We have to respect the boundaries. It's a big thing coming up in this year and the next is boundaries. There's going to be a lot of energy shifting. There's going to be a lot of people really trying to come into their own because COVID just said, hey, no, never again. No. You're seeing a lot of people become advocates for things that had no voice, right? They're standing up strong. They're giving people who feel like blobs, skeletal structure. As investigators, we are to give that client or that place, that historical residence or that location, we are the bones, right? Like the blob. I want you to think about an investigation as like a blob, right? And the Blob, if you've never seen the Blob, it's a scary movie. Very scary for the time. Special effects for the time were right. It was the Blob, blah, 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 and it's affected cinema, to this day going forward. But we, as investigators, advocates, as healers, as light workers, we give the Blob, that is the investigation, structure. We give them bones. We say, all right, here's a spine. Okay, why is the Blob acting this way? Why? Jeremy, don't talk to me. I know I have commitments to Things Network. Right? Plus, Cody Rhodes pulled a peck or something. I got dogs barking, and that's coming. We'll watch that later tonight. But anyway, we are to give it bones, and we're to give it a soul. Every investigation, like you can say, oh, I want to go on an investigation with this person, right? We all have those things. We're like, oh, I get to investigate with blah, blah, blah. Really? Holy smokes. What? As an intuitive, it's so funny. I remember back in the day, I was investigating with some people, and I was like, this person's going to be something. And now they are something, right? This person stood their own ground, allowed themselves to be who they are, right? Would go right into the danger zone. But was safe and respectful, right? A lot of people don't want to scare you off. A lot of people are making money off spirit right now. I'm just going to tell you all that. And you might say, well, have you gone and looked at your rates for mediumship? And have you gone and looked for your rates for intuitive? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. And I will stand by my rates because I'm only going to do the work that the person's called to come and see me, right? I'm not going to go and be like, like a woman of the night at Mardi Gras, right? That's not what I'm going to be like. And there are plenty of mediums, intuitives who are like that, like, hey, I need money. I need money. I need money, right? But every exchange, every session, every investigation, right, is an energy exchange. And you have to understand the balance. So when you're in the danger zone, if you're unbalanced, right, that's why I would have a friend who had a team. They were like, I just want to know, are you happy? And I'd be like, what? What? Why are you asking me that? Like, do I not look happy? Is there something wrong? Are you good? Did you get enough sleep? Get enough water in you, right? Are you clear for takeoff, right? Do you feel comfortable here? Asking all these preliminary things. And I always think like the preliminary investigation. I think every investigation you should have a prelim and you should have a main one. And you should have in that investigation, both of them. If you can have the same team always show up, great. It's also fun to have two different teams. Like if you are the main investigator and you're like, oh, I'm gonna bring these three, and they're gonna report, and we're gonna have a sit down, and then, the main investigation, I'm gonna bring so and so in, because over here we found that, A, B, and C believe it's this, right? So they believe it's a Native American indigenous spirit, right? That's what they were getting. So I'm going to bring the medium in that I know has that in, right? Feels comfortable. Comes from some investigators won't touch that with a 10-foot pole. They're like, nope, because it was their land first. And no. So you have to be aware, right? You have to be aware if you're going to investigate with me, I'm going to go in 5 different conversations, right? Be like, oh shit, it suits, right? Whew. Okay, let me tell you about Suits. Suits talks about 5 different stories at once. He'll bring it back. Sometimes he won't. Sometimes he'll say he will work with Metatron cards. Sometimes he won't. Sometimes he'll do this. But it usually, connects. I've gotten better. But the energies now are really different for a lot of intuitives. Like this year has been very, very different. A lot of things are going on. We got lots of different obstacles that are approaching different people, and some of them are self-made, right? A lot of insecurities happened with COVID. People like, I gained an extra 20 pounds, right? Or I blew through my savings. I don't know how, but I did. Or I thought I loved this person. I, I thought, and then I didn't. So I want you to think about all these things. Now, here's the fun part, right? All these conversations that we just had, all these random things. We talked about Rodney. We talked about if I had an investigation and I knew it was an indigenous Native American spirit, I'd bring somebody in for that. We talked about danger zones. Okay, let's get focused. A lot of people, as random and as crazy as all this start off was, that's how they act in an investigation. It's dangerous. They're going 100 miles an hour and they're not focused. They're not focused. They have not done the prelims. They have not checked to see if they have a parachute. They have not checked to make sure they got enough sleep. They've not checked to make sure that they are not angry, that they are too open, right? That they are not shielded up, right? We have to be aware. We have to be focused. A danger zone situation, any investigation, even if it's not an investigation, a great investigator once told me, he said, you may go into a house at first that was not active. And because that person came in and 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 that person came in, they're lighthouses and they have light. And that little spirit might come over and say hello and like the steak that's on the table. And that little spirit might come over and like the whiskey that was poured out by the tree. We have to be protective of wherever we go and wherever we investigate. Just like if we go on set, my dad used to tell me, he said, every set you go on, that's somebody's home. Somebody has put a lot of damn money up. Somebody believes in someone else's dream. If you do not respect the dream, then you will live a nightmare. If you do not respect the dream, then you will live in a nightmare. You have to respect the energies. You have to respect the world. All right, so let's pull some cards for y'all. I know we all have our danger zone situations. So we're going to start off with Jeremy York, the founder, one of the founders of Things Network. So we're going to start off here with these quantum cards. We just love them so much. Let's give it energy cleanse too. Ready? Intuition and manifestation. Okay. So let's look at this card. As an investigator, Jeremy can bring in 10 people, right? Jeremy has the intuition, right? How to manifest a great squad, right? I'm sure if you ask Jeremy, say, Jeremy, have you ever had a team where you're like, this team is great for this, but not great for that? We've all been there, right? There are people who will just dive right into this and it'll be like making a peanut butter sandwich so delicious, right? And there's other people who, if they come, it's going to be like they're allergic to peanuts and they just ate a big peanut butter sandwich. It'd be bad. As investigators, we have to know about intuition and we have to know about manifesting. Nothing annoys me more than people who wear quartz and don't know that quartz is a generator, right? It's not just a pretty stone, it's a generator. And if you're not generating, if you don't set that intention, begin, I'm generating protection, I'm generating hope, I'm generating balance, I'm generating peace, I'm generating hope and love, right? Like I'm generating right now. I'm going to say I'm generating right now. I want to get up to 11 people watching right now. 11 people. We got 7. So I'm generating. Let's get our channel wand out, right? From Seed of Light. Let's get our, right? Boom. And we'll get our Merlin out. So if I brought this on my investigation, right? And I did not set my intentions, right? And I brought a powerful thing out like this, right? Hand carved out of quartz, smoky quartz, right? And I brought this channel wand with all this these beautiful, stones, right? And I brought this, right? I'm like, oh, spirit, will you come talk to me? That spirit, that is not an invitation to come talk to me right now. Oh, spirit, will you come talk to me? Right? And if you're not ready to talk to them, right? Now you think you're ready. It's like people who are like, I'm ready to lose my virginity. I'm ready. And they might not be ready. Male, female, whoever, might not be ready. Right? You have to be aware. You have to practice safe. You have to be safe. Right? You have to be safe. Or when you go into the danger zone, guess what's going to happen? You're going to come out with a lot more scars, a lot more weight, a lot more insecurities, because let me tell you, fear nests in every investigation. It does. I don't care who you are. You can be top-notch paranormal investigator, be top-notch actor, actress, director, producer, whatever. When you go into whatever it is, whatever medium, see what I did there? Field, right? Or area, right? And you're not prepared, right? And you get uncomfortable and unbalanced, right? You're just sitting there holding your generator like this. You're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I thought I could do it. I thought I could do it. No, don't want to go. Don't want to go, right? And then people believing in you, people are there, right? And you're putting on this front. That's a lot of people, investigators do this too. They put on this front like, oh, I'm big badass. I'm big badass. I can do anything. They're also the person then calling the investigator, the main investigator that night, or their teacher, right, that night, crying, be like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out. All people believe me. I don't know. Right? I've seen it. I've heard it from both fields, from being a producer, director, teacher, acting coach, to being an investigator, to seeing mediums, young and old, come in and think they're the big hot shit. And they're like, oh, I'm making so much money. I used to be that person. The universe then said, you know what? I have some receipts. And I'm about to beat your ass. Because you need to get taken down about 5 notches. We have to practice safety. We have to focus. One thing Virginia always tells me, she's like, you can communicate great when you want to. Not everybody understands Sethanese. And that's true. I talk in a lot of different riddles. I'm a riddle wrapped in enigma, right? So thank you, Jeremy, for that card. Intuition and manifestation. We have to be aware. We have to know our world. If we don't know our world, then guess what's going to happen? We're gonna be an alien in it, right? We're gonna be an alien in it. We're gonna be maybe even alienated. So we don't want that. We want to have communion. We want to have Congress. We want to be able to experience life, right? We don't become investigators, or we don't become storytellers or artists because, oh, it's fun, right? I would tell when I was a talent manager, I would tell all my clients, I'd be like, if you're in this because you think you're going to be rich, you're a damn fool. If you're in this because you want to work every single day and get to honor someone's words and get to honor the legacy that's older than time, the art of storytelling, then you will never work a day in your life. It will never seem like work. And you'll be okay. You'll be okay. Like the great acting teacher Greg Block told me. He said, you have 3 directors that like you, you'll be a working actor. That doesn't mean you'll be a famous actor, but you'll be a working actor. 3 working directors on a regular basis, they want to work with you. They want to work with you. Right? Investigators, same way. I think everybody here, I bet Jennifer can talk about this. I bet Jeremy can talk about this. I bet Paranormal Nation Radio can talk about this. Anne-Marie, I see that you've never been on an investigation before. We got to make sure that happens. Y'all, if you in Anne-Marie's area, Anne-Marie, connect with the Creative Collective, Create with Things Network. Say, hey, I want to go on an investigation. But wait for the right one. The right one will show up. Right one will show up. Right one will show up. All right, this is Anne-Marie's card. Ascended Masters. All right, so we got 4 directions here. We got lots of clouds. We got the 8. We got the lotus. We've got the pyramid, and we've got the dove. As an investigator, when we go into the danger zone, as a medium, when we go into the danger zone, right? How do we use what we have? Spirit guides. The workers, the knowledge that we have, the knowledge base, to use one of my work terms, the knowledge base, the KB, right? We pull stuff out, right? Hello, Chrissy, how are you? So 8's for infinity, okay? So 8's for infinity. So there's infinite possibilities in an investigation, right? Even if it is inactive, you have the potential to learn as an investigator. You do. You have the potential to learn as an investigator. On a set, you may just, you may be just this one-liner, right? Or you may be doing background work. But if you show up early, if you pay attention, if you're there when they need you, and they don't have to look for you, and they know you, and you're not a kiss ass, right? Or you're not annoying, or you're not, ooh, can I have your autograph? Can I text you? Can I give you my script? Oh my God, can I, oh my God, right? Then the possibilities are infinite, right? How many of y'all have ever, and people on Things Network and all these other networks and everything, the people like in Hollywood, when you find a person like, I want to investigate with that person, I want to just see what it's like. It might be fun. It might be a nightmare, but it'll be a story, right? It'll be a story. That's what we are. As investigators, as actors, as actresses, as artists, we are storytellers. We are helping the story. We are giving the blob structure. So it's no longer a blob, because that client calls you to give it structure, to understand why can't my little girl go to sleep at night? Why? And I've told the story 1,000 times too. One of my first investigations, I had this great instructor, and she said, I'm not trying to be invasive or get in your business, but I need to see what y'all are watching. I need to see what they're watching. And the parent was like, I got some private stuff on there. What do you mean? Like, what is the child watching? What is a young person watching at night? Because a lot of times spirit uses what we have in our head. As I said, as a medium myself, when I'm communicating, I watch so many movies and TV shows. Spirit uses my like cinema brain to be like, this is what it is. And so when I'm ever doing a reading or anything, I tell people, I'm like, I may never be able to explain or say, oh, your mama has red hair and she's wearing glasses, but this is what the energy comes off of what they feel like to me, right? So again, focus. We have to focus. So in this Ascended Masters, we also are working with peace. Virginia always says, just give me peace. That's all I want. Just give me peace. That's what we want. We want peace. Peace of mind. We want a piece of the pie, right? We want a peace, right? We want and we need peace of mind. We need peace. We need life, love. We need these things, right? That's how we ascend. That's how we get better, right? The pyramid with the all-seeing eye, right? That says history. As an artist, as a storyteller, if I don't know the history of this business, right? If I don't know, if I can't go to lunch and talk to them about Scorsese, I might not even like Scorsese, or these people who, because there's always going to be an elder table. That's something y'all have to remember. There's always going to be an elder table, always, because they're the ones who steer the ship. They're the ones that people are going to invest in, right? One of the greatest lessons as a producer, as a filmmaker, is get an elder table, get a King Arthur, get a Guinevere, get people, get name recognition, and build around them. Let them build. If you look at TV shows now, that's a lot what they do. They get one big name, right? One big name, and then that big name, boom, 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 builds it up, right? Right? People get so excited. Oh, I'm on this movie. Yay. Great. Don't fuck it up. That's what my producer used to always tell me, and my agents, my managers. They'd be like, don't fuck it up. Don't take this opportunity and do something stupid, Suits. I've done that many a times. I will tell you. When I was younger, I did it all the time. So many opportunities. I was just like, I just want to be different. 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 I want to be me, right? And they didn't even get a chance to know me because I was so eccentric and so woohoo way off, right? Being actor man, right? Same way with investigations. I was so like, oh, we get a nice camera, I'm gonna get all the equipment, blah, blah, blah. They don't give a shit about that. They give a shit about you. They give a shit about you and what you bring to the table, right? I call it the Michael Randall rule. It's the greatest rule ever. If I have equipment, right, and you want to use my equipment, I'm going to be a part of it. Very, very simple, right? I have to invest in myself. As investigators, as workers, I'm going to tell you, I probably have about 100 deck cards, right? I probably have over, I would probably say $1,000 some odd dollars, probably more than that, and stones and tools. I invested in myself, but you also have to know when to stop investing and so you have to let that investment, right? You have to build that foundation and just like as an investigators with that blob situation, that blob imagery, we have to build and structure and put the skeleton in. If I continually, right, continually building in the blob structure, right, and it gets so big, what's going to happen? It's going to boom, boom, fall. If it's not balanced, we have to have balance. We have to have balance. Then the lotus, you know how the lotus is made? Comes out of the mud, right? It's a beautiful flower. Not every investigation you have is going to be pretty. It is not. It's not going to be. It's not pretty. And you have to be aware of that. Not every teacher you have is going to be pretty. They're not going to like you. They're going to resent you. They're going to like you as a paycheck. It's a hard truth. And I hate, it sounds like I'm jaded and I'm angry and I'm mad, but I'm long past those days. I'm 40 years old, guys. That's right. I mean, I've spent so much money on classes. I spent so much money on acting classes, right? And equipment and plays and books and conferences. When if I just would have showed up, right? And allowed myself to network with the right people, right? And enjoy the moments. Something they don't teach in acting class schools, right? Enjoy the moment. No, they want you to go this and do that. Investigators the same way. They want you to not spend time with your family all the time. They want you to go from Kansas to Minnesota to California, all these places, and go to these conferences. And there's these other people, the laymen, which we all aware of, the laymen who are just like, ooh, this is my time. I've saved all my money, and I just want to go I want to speak to spirit. I want to get scared, right? right? I want to get scared. How many? I can't. Every investigator will tell you this if they like done like the donation investigations. And I mean, at first those kind of like irk me a little bit, but I understand, especially like historical sites, right, and that kind of stuff. I can get that. That money goes to the investigation, goes to the location, right, to help with gas and help with, putting on the thing. I get it. I don't get it when people are putting a price tag on spirit. That I have issue with. That is a danger zone. And spirit might not come to collect until you're 85 years old in the hospital, and whew, there's a lot of spirits in a hospital, right? Just remember that next time you are saying, "Oh, I'm gonna do this, that, these, and those," right? Um, just imagine what that receipt may be. What that receipt may be. You have to be aware. You have to work with your ascended masters. You have to work with your higher consciousness. You have to work with the Christ consciousness. You have to work with love, light. You have to be free. If you're not free, then what are you? You are a prisoner. You have the choice. Am I free or am I a prisoner? Right? Will I lead or will I follow? You have the choice. Right? You have the choice. So, you have the choice if you're going to be in a shitty investigation, right? With a shitty time. Oh, God. It's just a reason why rednecks should not have cable TV. This. We're here. We're out in the middle of nowhere, and there's mosquitoes. There's snakes. They haven't cleaned up at all. And it's fucking hard. I'm scared to be here, not because of spirit, because of the people who are alive. So we have to be aware. Now we have the choice. We have the choice to say, "Oh, okay, yeah, this is going to be a story one day. I'm going to be able to tell it on a Things Network." Okay, cool. I'm also going to be able to learn about me. I have to protect myself. I have to learn how to protect myself, right? Because if I'm pissed off that I drove 4 hours to Alabama, right? Or 8 hours to Tennessee or whatever, or to Atlanta, it doesn't matter, right? And I'm not channeling the right way. I'm just out there, right? I'm just with my flag, like, hey, okay, let's go. So, is there anybody here today? If someone is here, will you please give us a sign? No one's here because they watch too much Sci-Fi Channel. If you start putting all these things in here and you start building this weight on everything and you start forgetting why you do what you do, right? Because you think your shit don't stink. But let me tell you, many people who think their shit don't stink, but depends on what you eat, I guess. But also, your shit does stink. I mean, it doesn't smell like roses unless you use that spray stuff. But I mean, so you have to be aware and you have to be professional. You have to be professional. One of the great things I learned about Jackie Chan was he would sweep. Story about Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan. I think they both do it. They both did it. Someone walked in and said, "What are you doing? You're like the lead. You're sweeping the set. We pay people for that." He's like, "Yeah, you do, but these are my people, and if one of these people gets a nail in them or slips, then that's my people. I'm gonna make sure my people are safe." That's not knocking what y'all are doing. I'm just because I know as soon as I do it, then the other person's going to come here and clean again. So it's double clean. And then probably might be triple cleaned, right? 3 times a lady, right? Like, whoosh, we want to make a set like a lady. Whoosh, pretty, 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 right? So you have to learn how to work with your guides. You have to learn how to work with your knowledge base. You have to learn how to work. And that's what's very, very hard for a lot of investigators. It is work. It's not a weekend day warrior. And you can talk to people, you have all these people who, getting pulled back into it. They're like, oh, I got away. I got away. I was just enjoying the investigation. I was just enjoying spirit. And then they get in the venues and the circles and, oh, they want you here. And it's like, that's a lot of money on the table. I'd be an idiot to leave that. But if it's not going to enlighten you and it's not going to help you, remember, spirit, universe, God has receipts, will have receipts, and they will come to collect. How much you invest in spirit, how much you respect spirit, respect this legacy, this thing that's bigger than both me and you and everyone else, right? If you don't act like an ascended master from day one, right? You know how you can tell an ascended master? They don't act like an ascended master. It's like a person who calls himself a sage, right? And they don't know what a sage is. That's some shit, right? That's some shit. Or someone who calls himself a professional actor, but don't even know what a headshot is, right? Or somebody who says, "Oh, I'm a Catholic," but doesn't know that it means universal. I mean, there's things we have to be aware. We have to be aware. The way you know an ascended master is they never say it. And if you called them that, they'd be like, no, 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 no. No, I'm not. No, 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 not. No, 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 no. Because they know there's always a bigger dog. There's always a bigger dog. I had an acting friend tell me, is a professional actor, and says the hardest thing going to acting classes because when you're successful, because people just want to like be around you and like they want to, and you just want to be there to, make sure you don't get rusty and you want to have fun, right? And you can finally have fun. You could finally have fun. You don't have to worry about, oh, can I take acting class or can I pay my light bill? And then when you get to that point where, where that wouldn't be the situation, it a lot of times becomes complicated because people see you as an object. People do with the spirit too. I remember going into an investigation in Vicksburg, Mississippi, and one of my fellow investigators said, "Up there, you want to go up there?" I was like, "Why?" He's like, "Some people have gone and investigated this place up there that the spirit has gone, right? Because they don't go back and do evidence." And I told you I've been guilty of that because when I started, I'd have like 5 recorders, right? I'd have cameras. I'd have 2 cameras. I'd have my EVP. I'd have my ghost box. Man, I had everything like, ugh. But I did not. I was not balanced. The balance of it was like I need to tell them it would take 3 weeks to go through all this, and because I have a life and I have a job and I have to work and blah blah blah, and I don't do evidence review during the night. It's just a rule I have, and so, but I didn't do that. I just wanted to go in there and show them I was a big dog who could buy all these things and do all these things. I was putting myself in the danger zone of not knowing the cost. The cost. Where it was like, oh, it's like when you know the person who shows up in the nice, expensive, fast car, right? But doesn't know how to drive it. Makes a lot of damn noise, but doesn't know how to drive it. Right? And then the ascended master gets in the car who's never had a fast car but knows how to drive a stick shift and knows how to treat a car, and then makes you feel like, whew, whew, that's amazing. Whew, that's amazing. Whew, did you hear that thunder? Whew, that's amazing. All right. So thank you for that. That was great energy. I love getting y'all's energy. All right. Who's next? Who's like? Oh, let's see. Irene. Here we go. Irene's energy is going to talk about taking steps. So as we start taking steps, we have to realize going into the danger zone, if you do not know that there are mines planted in an investigation, also on set, you'll get blown up. I think we all can talk about people who have uh, had have been overcome by mental issues, depression, addictions, uh, madness, um, rage. There's different levels of ghost sickness, as we all know, right? There's all these different things, and so as we take steps into these dangerous zones, right? On set, if you talk to you talk to number one is the first person, like the big actor, number one. Um, and he doesn't want you or she doesn't want you to talk to her, you'll be gone. That's back to life because there's 5 other people who are just like you who want to be there. Respect the boundaries because someday someone messed up and said, "Hey, do you mind if my aunt comes over because she really likes you? Can you call her? I'm here to do a job. I'm here to do a job." Right? Investigating the same way. You have all these big names, right? And I feel so bad for like all the people who like been on like Ghost Academy, Ghost Hunters, all these things. And they're there because they love the business and they love helping people and they know what the hell they're doing, right? They're not there to become a ladder for you. They're not there to become a ladder for you. My dad used to tell me, he said, if you have to ask somebody for help in this business, any business, it's because you haven't done your job. Now, you might think that's savage, but what that means is the person that is successful never asked for a damn thing. There are no receipts. There are no, ooh, that's a pound of flesh that I gave. Oof, right? No one's calling to collect, right? Now, I'm going to tell you, I've asked for help on many occasions. I'm not going to lie. But business wise, industry wise, I very rarely called in any of my favors. If I called them in, I called them in for other people, right? Because I believed in them. It's so funny. I was looking back at some text messages. I said, so and so, you've got to meet so and so. You've got to meet them. They're going to be big. They're going to be huge. Listen to me. They didn't respond. This person's now in the biggest movie in the world. Listen, when people talk, they talk. In investigations, uh, you want to be the person that they talk about in a good way, not a bad way, or that you're not talking about at all, right? That you're good. You heighten. You're like an ascended master. You're not gonna say, "Oh, I'm a scholar," right? Or "Oh, I'm this." And when I was talking about the sage thing, I want to be very clear. I have a friend who uses that as a moniker, and that's not what I'm talking about at all. That person is very much she's a sage. So to make that very clear. Um, but people who consider themselves things because it's colorful and lightning buggy and shines bright and it's a hook right into people's psyche. You don't that no, don't do that. Don't. Don't. Ascended master will never say he or she is an ascended master. Right? They won't. They won't. An investigator. I had an actor once tell me, I'm gonna go back to that investigator comment in a second. Actually, if you have to tell somebody you're an actor, you're not an actor. Now, if you have to tell somebody you're a storyteller, well, guess what? You're not a storyteller. Because an actor is an actor's life. It is. They work. If you're not sleeping on somebody's couch, if you're not busting ass, my dad said, if you're too good to wait tables, and I thought I was too. I'm not gonna lie. At the time, I was very young and dumb. Too good to wait tables, too good to do that, then you don't want it. Then you don't want it. You've got to want it. as an investigator, if you want to be on the top-notch game, right? You want to be invited to these conferences. I'm putting that out there. I want to start being invited to these conferences and these venues and stuff. So if you want me to come, send me an email, centricmedium@gmail.com, or sundayswithsuits@gmail.com. Or if y'all want a session, centricmedium@gmail.com, or sundayswithsuits@gmail.com, right? You got to put yourself out there. If you don't put yourself out there, you'll never know. You'll never know. So you've got to start taking the steps. You've got to start taking the steps. All right, who's ready to use energy? Let's go with Lauren from Virginia. All right, teacher. I'm going to get some shit for this. I can already tell you. There are so many people out there who call themselves teachers, but couldn't find their ass with both hands. There are so many people out there who get hired as teachers and then get fired because the people who hired them took it on face value. They didn't do the research. They didn't. What are your qualifications? What? How can you? Well, I don't understand. I'm confused. I need to know. I think I need to know some stuff about you. I need to be aware of the situation. Right? Know who you're training with. Know who you're training with. Know if that ascended master, if they have that kind of flair. If I'm eccentric and I would bring in like 5 different cases of stuff. I'd have cards, I'd have stones, and right. And I was blessed at the time. My teacher knew I was eccentric and knew that's who I was, right? And accepted it. She could easily said, "No, you can't bring this shit in. You need to go." It's just like when Akila Morong Studios and in Los Angeles, they had this acting when I was there. I've told the story too. And I really wanted to become a part of that group. I really wanted. It was like I loved it. I studied with John Hyman, his screenwriting class. I was like, oh my god, the acting's gonna be amazing. The acting teachers. I went in there, and I thought I was a shit. And I got the letter saying I wasn't a shit. And I had an option, balance, right? I had a balance. And so I wrote there. I said, thank you so much for not taking my money. Thank you so much for keeping your class where it needed to be, right? You could easily take my money, put me in the back, and but you told me to try again, right? That's a teacher. That's a teacher. That's with these singing competitions, one thing, listen to Simon Cowell and especially the ones in Britain, they will say, they'll be like, come back again. You're not ready. Come back again. What they're saying is, let's see what the social media is, blah, blah, blah. That's one thing they're saying. Let's see how they poll, right? Let's see all this stuff. If you're not watching The Boys on Amazon, I highly recommend it because a lot of things are about this. How people poll, what people are brought in, how people are seen by the mass media, by social media. And it's good and it's bad, right? It gives open doors for lots of people who would never have doors open. It also closes the door on people who've been working their asses off their whole life, but will refuse to say, I'm just going to be I don't want to get on social media. I'm not going to do it. That's not me. I'm a storyteller. This is what I do. So you have to be aware. You have to take those steps. You have to know about your teachers. You have to start learning what a teacher is. You have to find out your definition of what a teacher is. A dangerous zone is where you become friends with your teacher. This is very, very dangerous, right? One of the greatest acting teachers I ever had an assistant, right? And I'm not going to throw out any, because I haven't got their permission, but this teacher, when it was done, would walk out the classroom like person was walking off the stage, and the assistant would stay on the set and hold the space. Right? Now, afterwards, after class was over, right, if he wanted or she wanted to talk to people, but they would. If they didn't, they were gone. These teachers don't owe you anything. They're there to teach you. They're not there to be your friends. They're not there. When I was a talent manager, that's the biggest mistake I ever made in my life. I wanted friends, so I became a talent manager. I was like, I'm just going to believe in people. If I make money, great. Very hard to collect money from a friend. Very hard. Very, very hard. And when you know that they're going to Puerto Rico and they didn't pay you the residual check that they got, very hard to handle. Very hard to handle. Investigator, oh, hey, I'm going to London with this team of people. But why did you not mention me? I love London. Right? Very hard. Right? These ideas of what a teacher is and what a teacher is now, especially in the metaphysical world, when you have all these conferences going on, and because they've been on TV, they know paranormal. Not always. Not always. Not everybody can be trained. Unfortunately, I used to say, oh, everybody can be an actor because everybody can act. Your mom and dad teach you how to act. I'm teaching young Jack Ives how to act like a man, right? How to act like a gentleman, right? How to say please, how to say thank you, right? The A's, pay, abu, right? That's young steps. That's taking steps. We have to decide what a teacher is to us. Are we going to go to learn something so we can have a person that is our friend? Right? Are we having somebody who is going to be later a colleague? We have to know the boundaries. And teachers sometimes don't set those boundaries. So it's not all on those students. Some of those teachers are lonely. They became teachers because they were lonely and they were broke. A lot of acting teachers. They weren't lonely. They were out of work actors. That's why you get that saying, those who can't do what? Teach. Right? So you have to be aware. So when you have these teachers, right, and they're not teaching people how to take the right steps. They're not teaching people when they go into that, oh, hey, if you have a client, right, who that is going to see every medium in the town. I had that. I'm going to tell you a personal story. I found out there was a client that was going to all these different mediums. We had this big explosion in Mississippi recently of mediums and intuitives because we have a school here. We have a school here, and so that's great. That's amazing. It's a beautiful thing. But you have to be aware that not everybody is meant to be a medium. And not everybody is meant to be an intuitive. Not everybody is meant to be a Reiki practitioner. You might be a great energy worker. I'm a great energy worker. I'm a Reiki master teacher. But I'm a better energy worker. I know that. You know how I know that? Because I was doing energy work one day. I was doing Reiki session one day, and I was just doing my own way. And the person complained that it was not the Reiki that they experienced in Los Angeles. And so I got in trouble. Right? Even after explaining, I would sit there and talk to my clients and be like, this is what I do. Anybody who's ever had a reading with me, they'll be like, oh, he sits there for about an hour and a half telling me what he does. And I make damn sure that they know what they're getting into. Right? You have to act like an ascended master. You have to be that teacher. You have to be the teacher. You have to act like a teacher. I can't tell you how many times when I was as a working medium, I was doing it as a career, right? That people would ask me questions, and I was like, oh, that's a weight that I'm going to have to take on. And I don't want to take that on. So no. Uh, but a lot of times I did. Again, universe came and collected, took me out for about a year and a half. Right? Kind of sucked. Right now, I'm not an actor. I'm not an actor. I'm not a storyteller. I'm not auditioning. Right? But let you know a little secret. I'm building up back to it. Can y'all tell? Can y'all tell? So I need y'all's energies forward that way to me too. Um, let's open the moon book. Y'all ready for moon book? Moon oracle. Oh, wisdom's been around today. I met a girl at the at Lowe's today. Her name was Sophia. Wisdom. Wisdom is more than mere knowledge. There may be something you aren't seeing and need to research more thoroughly. Okay. Wisdom is gathered, but it takes time. Learn from your experience, right? You might wish to ask the opinion of a wise mentor if you are uncertain. Now you ask a lot of people ask me, how do I find a wise mentor? How do I how do I because it's like a wise mentor, the person that's on the side of the road on like 51 who's like has a sign that says free psychic readings. Is that a wise mentor? No, that's somebody who has a great location, right? A great location, and they know that when somebody's going this way and that way, and it's 5 o'clock in the morning, and they're like, "Oh, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? I'm gonna go talk to this person. Like, I'm gonna call, right?" And bravo to anybody who puts their placard out. Bravo. It's very, very hard. It's hard to put a placard out. It's hard. It's hard. If you are not a performer, if you are not a storyteller, if you've never and you think that you can just go in and be a medium and intuitive, you are sad mistaken. It's not easy. It's not easy. And the right teachers will tell you this is not for everyone. Acting teachers, the right acting teacher will be like, we'll call you out on your shit. I had a great teacher. I, I consider when I say a great, I had a teacher here in Mississippi. If you ever have a chance to stay with Gary Grubbs, I highly recommend it. Um, but he would not let me just like coast by, right? It didn't matter that I drove 3 hours down to to the coast every Wednesday. It didn't matter. When I came to those doors, it was a space, and there were people there of all levels of professionalism, right? Beginners, people who just like doing it. Like this is like their thing. Instead of going out and drinking, they just go to acting class. We've all been in those classes, if y'all know what I'm talking about. But it didn't matter because when you went through those doors, you were seen as professional. You were seen as professional. It's a great thing about Gary Grubb class. You're seen as professional no matter what level you're on. He's going to treat you like professional. So I highly recommend Gary Grubb class. If you ever can go, go. So here's the saying for wisdom. I use my knowledge and experience to make wise decisions. I use my knowledge and experience to make wise decisions. Don't you wish we did that as investigators all the time? If we just used our experience that, we get a call, and I feel so bad about this, and we all have those things, I think, where we have investigations or potential investigations where people are like, "Oh, will you please come to my house? Will you please come to my house?" And spirit comes to me and says, "You do not go to that house. I don't care if they offer you diamonds. I don't care if they offer you gold. I don't care if they offer you this. This is not for you." Right? A wise teacher will teach you how to take the steps to de-escalate the situation with that person and be like, "Hey, this is not for me. This is and I'll be the first one. Anybody who knows me knows if investigation is not for me, that puts me in danger or my family in danger. I'll be like, no, 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 nada. So, because I've used my experience, I have that knowledge base, right? And people who then become mediums and intuitives and then become paranormal investigators, that's an interesting thing too. I think you can every investigator can tell you, like, oh, there's there's a definitely difference. There's a very different way people investigate from people who are mediums, intuitives first, right? That's what they're first. That's what they were called. That's what they do. Blah blah blah. And then somehow they get into the investigation world, right? And it's a very different thing. It's just like acting, like it's like film acting and theater acting from the same like seed, right? But the the output's a little different. The tree grows a little different. It's from the same idea. It's a seed, and you have to plant it, but it requires different things, right? Film, you need to know about sound, light. You need to know about that if you're not friends with the editor, you can end up on the cutting room floor. Um, you know, how not to take away from a scene, right? Learn how to have little things. Learn how to be an ascended master on the stage. Um, whereas stage, you got to be a little bigger. Got to use your diaphragm more. You got to every movement. That's a little thing with film and a lot of now things with film and theater. These movements, like with film, because that camera's right on you, right on you, like right here, a T shot as they call it, right here. If you move your eyes, like if I looked over here, if my eyes darted over and the camera's there, the audience is gonna want to see what the fuck I darted over. That's how you can tell a good director and a good editor. If my eyes dart over when I'm on set on film, they dart over this way. There's a reason. Everything an actor or an actress does, there's a reason. You just don't do it. Just don't do it. Just like an investigator. If I go investigate a place, I'm just not going to investigate. At least I'm not. I'm going to investigate for a reason. Either a client's called me and be like, hey, there's some shit here. And I'm scared. I'm really scared. My kids are scared. Anytime kids are involved, I'm there in a heartbeat. Boom. Right? I think that's what probably any investigator will tell you. When there are kids involved and they're scared, they didn't sign up for this. Right? And I can't tell you how many stories I have of parents who are doing crazy, stupid stuff and they're opening doors they shouldn't open and it's affecting kids. That is wrong. That I will not tolerate. That I'll be like, you about to see what an ascended master is. Courage. All right. Annette, that's your card. Courage. If we look here, we have a lot of white. We have a shield. We have a sword. You have to have courage. You have to have courage. You have to have courage to say, hey, this is not for me. Right? No matter the paycheck. The greatest artist is the person where they'll say, I don't care if you pay me $1 million. I don't care. I don't care. It's a lot of money, and I'm probably going to regret it. But what I really will regret is the receipt the universe is going to come to show me when I least expect it. And that no. The artist who knows their worth. I've talked a lot about this with a lot of people during COVID. People just were so concerned about their worth. They didn't know what their worth was. They didn't know about the courage to speak up, the courage to say, hey, I don't agree. And this is why. One of the greatest acting lessons I ever had was I can disagree with the director, but if I can't justify my reasons for disagreeing, right? If the director says, move over here, right? Because the lighting, we need you over here. We need you over here. And you're like, well, I don't know. You're getting paid to tell a story, right? That's your job. As an investigator, we are getting the privilege to go into someone's home, because they are scared to death, or they want it gone. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. So as an actor, as an artist, if my job is I'm signed on, I'm storyteller, I'm telling so and so story, right? And the director has been, because he or she has been, hired to tell the story by the studio as well. I trust that this person knows what the hell they're doing because they know their worth. I can disagree all damn day long. I can disagree. But I have to justify why I'm disagreeing. Right? And I may say, hey, Tom, can I holler at you for a second? After we, before we move on from this, can we get one shot that's, I'll move over here. I will find a reason, right? I will find a reason. That's how you know an actor's going to be hired again. They don't, I'm moving over here, right? Same way with the investigator. They may not like how Charles and Thomas and John investigate that house. Okay. And we've all had those conversations in the car, like what was Becky thinking? Like, what the? You're not trying to talk bad about your team or anything. You're just curious about what they thinking, right? You want the conversation to be like, I know the person wasn't comfortable, but the way that she kept it cool, and then asked to be, to excuse herself, as it's not imbalancing the investigation. That was some cool stuff, and I'll investigate with that person every day of the week. I want that person to have my back. I want that person to be like, nope, not doing it. But hey, why not? If you don't mind me asking, why not? I'd really not say, cool. And that let that person know. As a director, if I direct somebody to do this, that, these, and those, right, and they do it, check mark. But if they do it and don't tell me why in a respectful way, circle with a line. Because that's probably going to come back to bite me in the ass in the editing room. Art is a collaboration. Investigations are collaborations. It is not a one-man show. Okay? It is not a one-man show. And we have to be aware of that. Okay. Worm Moon, having faith, fertility, and abundance now return. Things will get better. Growth has started. Hold on to your dreams and adversity. I know all will be well. Every investigation, you should go in there saying, I know all will be well, because I have the higher consciousness. I have Christ. I have my angels. I have my guides. I have my protection. I'm here. I believe I am safe. I know I am safe. I will take the steps. I will walk into that dangerous. My intuition is going to manifest protection and shields, not just for me, but for my team. Even those who don't even know it. I'm going to send a big shield out. Be like Star Trek. Shields on. Red alert. Red alert. Red alert. Right? Do y'all know if Ghostbox Live is going on tonight? Do we know? I'm asking. Anybody want to tell me? Greg, are you doing a show tonight? If not, then I'll just do some readings for some people. All right. So, since Greg's not doing a show tonight, right? And we've talked about the danger zone. There's 4 people watching. So what I want, let's get 10 people watching. Let's get 10. I'm gonna go an extra hour. My wife probably like, no, you're not. Let's see. So I'm going to go because the show must go on. And there are people here, there's 4 people here. So 4, 8, let's say 10. Let's have fun. Y'all tell me what y'all want to talk about. I've got a little time, got a little energy. We talked about the danger zone. I hope y'all had a fantastic time. But please, 4 people watching, get on your phone, get on your thing. Let's bring some people in. Say, hey! All right, my wife just checked in. Yeah, Annette, today I decided I was going to be healthier. So I made the choice. And that's something we have to do as people. We have to make the choice. We have to make the choice. And it's not always going to be, just because you make the choice does not mean it's going to be the right choice. Like today, I got a knock on the door and my neighbor said, we found a cat. My grandchildren found a cat. And I could just hear Virginia's voice in my head be like, we are not taking on another damn animal. We are not taking on another damn animal. Full of fleas, right? Full of fleas. But this beautiful little yellow cat. And I said, all right, I'll take it. Because I just knew in my heart, and I was right. Virginia said, anything that woman asked for, we do. And so we have son Daisy Eudora. And right now, she's outside. And gave a Capstar so the fleas would go away. And it's so great that we still have a lactating mama cat out here. So that's great. Because the struggle is real. The struggle, you never know how the world's going to go. An investigation, you never know how it's going to go. You've been in the most active places in history. And because a certain team comes in, Spirit's not going to do a damn thing for you. And then the next day, Spirit's like, oh, let's knock the roof off this building. We'll play it like a Metallica concert. All right, Annette asks, how do I find my spirit guide when I can't shut my brain down to meditate? Okay, Annette, well, this is what I do. You see this little guy right here? This is Perot. And Perot is fool's gold. Right? I think I have my other stone somewhere. Oh, it's over there. But what I do is I get shiny things like this, right? I also have cards. Let me see. What can I do? What can I pull? I'm trying to see if I just have any, like, I don't know where they all are. So Annette will pull you some cards. Yes. So Virginia, which y'all don't know, is a medium and intuitive as well, and very, very talented. If you ever want marketing done, she uses her medium and her intuitive abilities for how to rebrand yourself. She's a branding genius. She uses all her senses. I'm not just saying that because she's my wife. So Greek gods are frequencies, Annette. Frequencies that people need to have understanding. So you can use Greek gods as a frequency. All spirit guides are frequencies, in my opinion, frequencies of this universe. People just have different. Like one of mine's Arthur, right? And for the longest time, I thought Arthur was just this British kind of like, oh my God, really? Seriously? Well, you actually here? Come on now. Like that's how he talked at first, because that's how Arthur, and that's how I heard him in my head. When I was like meditating or whatever, writing, whatever. And then one day I was really struggling with something. I think it was, I was so mad I was not back in LA. I was so angry. I was stuck in Mississippi. And every medium and every intuitive will tell you this. When your guide, who is a frequency that you relate with, that you interchange energy with, that the purpose is balance. That's what I believe guides are. They are to help you balance who you are, right? The equilibrium, right? They're protectors, right? When you get into what I call a holodeck situation, right? In the mind, the third eye, very clear. I'll make this very clear. Some people think I'm crazy because I can see this come to trial one day and be, did you say this? No. So be very clear. Holodeck, third eye, right? They're not actually in real person. This did not really happen to me. This was emotional energy feeling. So I was very mad and I was working some stuff out. And the way I work stuff out is I write. And I had just finished a play that I was writing. It's turned into a screenplay. And I was just so fed up that all the people were doing these things that I wanted to do. And this British energy in my third eye, right? Very, want to be very clear. Third eye, I felt my body get picked up, right? My spiritual body get picked up, looked up like this, and thrown against a wall, right? Just thrown against a wall really hard. You don't know shit. Cut his British accent out, cut his British voice, and my spirit kind of just like my spiritual body just sort of like a blob to the ground. That interest, that impact, right, that I had was a wake up call. You hear about this all the time. A wake up call. I got a wake up call from the universe. When my spirit guide Arthur threw me up against the wall and said, "You don't know shit," and that's all he said in my third eye, my third ear, whatever, right? And I went like putty to the wall. I just felt like, what? How did that fucking happen? Like, what? Belief is a strong thing. Faith is a strong thing. And when you have people start playing with things that they don't know, right? Like, so, I was working at a metaphysical store, and this person came in and said that their guide was a character from a book. And at the time, because I was not at the right place in my head, I was like, "You're crazy. You're nuts." Instead of saying, "Okay, have you read that book? Do you know the history of that character? Right? Do you know why that character exists in the book? Are you sure that's a frequency that you are making? You are connecting with this frequency in the universe and considering it a guide, considering it a tent pole, considering it a lighthouse for you. Um, it has a certain weight to it. A lot of people don't realize that when I teach people about mediumship and when I teach people about intuitiveness, there's a weight. There's a reason why intuitives and mediums they can gain weight if they're not. And I'm be the first one to talk about it because I used to be a skinny a little bit. Now I'm a little bulk side, got to lose a little bit of weight. Would not be camera ready by any means. So you have to be aware. You have to be aware. If you are going and looking for guides, we'll talk about this next week, and we'll talk about it next week. We'll do a session on guides next week. It's a really good topic anyway. So yeah, but guides, meditation is very hard for a lot of people. It's very, very hard. I tell people to start off with animals first, and then go because they exist. All right, so let's give you a spiritual guide, a spirit animal first, a power animal. All right. Oh yeah, great little Colette Baron Reed. If you follow her on Facebook, man, she's got some great stuff. All right, ready? And Virginia's about to come home. Well, close. Coyote Spirit. Close. Trust and divine detours. Look at that. There's a lot of grounding there. There's a lot of creative there. So, Coyote, Trickster Spirit. You have a person here, right? You can see is looking at the much bigger object. So he or she has to learn how to work in communion with the energies. So I tell people to start off with the spirit animals first. Um, it's just a lot. It's easier. It's not going to be. It's not going to. When you start bringing spirit people, when you start and people who have died, that's another whole another. That adds a whole another level of balance into it. Like that's like if you haven't gone to the gym and you start just lifting the heavy stuff because you thought you could before, like oh, and then you come home and your wife looks at you like you're an idiot because you have done way too much and you don't want to go to the gym tomorrow. So what you've done is a waste of time. A lot of people will go to classes and won't go back because they think, oh, I went in like it was all this and I did all this and I then went home and studied stuff on YouTube and then I studied more books and they didn't let the teacher teach the class. And that's another thing. Teachers need to be aware of students who are thinking they're the teacher. You're a student. You're a student. On that note, also, if your teacher is still taking classes, that's a teacher I want to be a part of because that's a teacher who has humbleness in their body. The people who think that they don't need to have training anymore, fucking idiots. It's truth. Sorry. Because it's ever changing. It's ever changing. Just like lawyers have to continually learn new laws, right? And doctors have to learn new things. You know, there's a basis in investigators, right? There's a basis. There's a basis, right? It's a base. You know, if you talk to one investigator, they'll be like, "Oh, this is a mandatory." All right, let's just do it. Investigators who are here, what's the one thing you need on an investigation? They all will tell you something different, or they might say EMF meter, right? Mine's my suit. Give right. Just like children make you younger. Best quote I ever heard, one of my old clients. I didn't believe that until I had a child. Children make you younger. You have to get back to your inner child. You have to connect. You have to realize the world is a precious thing. As investigators, as actors, as storytellers, we have to learn to use our intuition. We have to learn how to be where I don't have to say I'm that. My reputation says I'm that. If I have to tell you, then I'm not doing my job. Right? Especially in social media. If you're like, oh, Suits Healy, who's that? Okay, oh, that's who he is. Right? Oh, what's Uga Sooth mean? Right? I tell everybody who's like, they ask me what Uga Sooth means. I'm like, well, you really haven't looked, have you? Right? There, we have to channel correctly. Right? If I bring this into an investigation and I don't set the intention right, I'm probably it's going to be a nuclear effect. It's going to be crazy. If I have mediums there and we're chanting, we're like, it'll be something like out of like an X-Files episode, right? Or a Sightings episode. Here's another card. Travel. I've been getting this card a lot. I feel like a lot of things are about to start traveling for people. I feel like I'm going to start traveling. I don't know why, but I feel like there's a lot of things that are about to start happening for people. A lot of doors are opening different ways. And again, thank y'all for y'all's energy, y'all's blessings. Couldn't have done a lot of this without y'all. There we go. All right. Playing it safe. Playing it safe. What is that? That's a garden, y'all. Look at that. Ain't that some shit? Look at that. Look at that. That's a garden. Wow. 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 That spirit I told you about will sometimes come around me and will just be like, hey, and just walk out. It's so cool too. Hey. It keeps you balanced. That's what I love. That's why I love doing this. I'm not that clever, ladies and gentlemen, to make this shit up. But look, there's your gate. There's your garden. Intuition, playing it safe. Boundaries. How safe are you going to play it? How safe are you going to play it? Real safe. They talk about wrestlers like you want somebody who's safe in the ring. You want somebody who's safe in the ring. You also want to be aware of people who know how to let go of shit. They don't want to bring the drama in. They want to open the doors. They want to open the doors. They want to take you on an adventure, right? Nothing's more fun than being in a cramped room with people who respect you and know that you can bring shit to the table. They know they have been planning and that action is about to happen. They know that the stuck energy is going to be released. They know that it's going to be fragmented. They know. They know. That card would come up a lot too, that fragmented energy. Friendship, friends and colleagues. Nothing's better than when you're in an investigation with friends and colleagues. People who have a communication with one another. People who have a communion with one another. Right? I would tell my acting students, I say, it's great to work with your friends. It's even better to work with your enemies. And you're like, what? I don't understand. That's confusing. A great acting teacher and friend of mine, and was a client, told me, said the greatest role I ever had. Right, we were doing this off-Broadway show or something like that. We're doing the show, and I got the news that someone who I did not like was cast in the co-lead. So we sat down, and what the person said very clearly, we're never friends. Right? We just see the world very differently. But we respect the art the same. We respect the art the same. Right? You're about to hear dogs bark because Virginia's probably outside. Okay. She's not here yet. But that person said, we tore the roof off the building because we really didn't like each other. We didn't like each other, but we loved what we were doing. And we were safe. At no point did our personal BS, there was no method acting, there was none of that bullshit. There was, we loved what we were doing. We loved the art. We didn't love ourselves in the art. We loved the art. We loved the art. We loved it. And we played it, and they tore the roof off the building. Investigators, when you have someone who come in, hey, and it can also be really annoying too, like, because they're just such an well-oiled machine, right? And you don't want to get you don't become content, right? As an investigator, you never want that. You always want to be on your toes. You always want to be taking steps. You always want to be aware. Hey, this could be one thing, but this could be another. You want to have your precautionary situation going on. Let's see what else they're going to talk about. New beginnings. You want to have those new beginnings. You want to have every investigation like it's a new beginning. Okay? My wife is here. I'm going to let her in. I'm going to stay on, guys. But while I help her, okay, y'all write some questions down. All right? Cool? I'll be right back. So I wish I had like some music to play or something, but I don't. Don't leave. Don't leave. Open the door. Give me a second. Enough. All right, team, I'm back. All right. Decrease. When we're going to a danger zone, right, and we're going in, we have to learn how to decrease our energy. If we are too big, right? If I'm too big, if I'm going, I'm like, oh, right? I'm acting like the old actor man, like, oh, got my wand, I got everything, and I'm in the wrong quote unquote zone, right? That's going to endanger not only me, it's going to endanger my team. So we have to be able to respect. Everything that's going on. As Annette would say, doing homework. I have to make sure I've done my homework so that I'm ready. I might be willing, but I have to be ready. Right? I've answered that call. Right? I'm using my intuition right. I'm not acting like somebody else. I'm not wearing a mask. I'm not putting on airs. Now I can't tell you how many investigations I've heard about people were like, they said they were one thing. They came in, they were doing this, they're talking about this, they said they were going to bring back some other people, blah, blah, blah. They didn't do it, they did something else. They talked about their great achievements, right? They talked about their great achievements, but they didn't talk about the investigation. They didn't talk about and mediums will do this too, intuitive will do this too. They will shout out, what they're known for without saying it, right? Without saying it. Well, one time I used to do this all the time. One time I was out there, and a person had this loss. They had this loss. And I was there with my friend, and the spirit came in, and they talked for like 3 hours. Right? It's a very deserving moment for everybody involved. Right? The universe is so vast. Those kind of people make me sick in my stomach. And when I realized that I had actually been like that at one point in my life, that makes me sick in my stomach. Like I said, I'm still paying off receipts about my work from when I first started. Right? I thought I had to be one thing. I wasn't comfortable being who I needed to be. We have to be able to go back and forth. We have to be balanced. It's important. If we're not balanced, right, then we can channel things that should not be channeled. We can open doors that should not be opened. We can make a situation a lot worse. In film and TV and acting, it's the same thing. If I'm not respecting the institution of storytelling, right, that there's a cameraman, there's a light man, there's a wardrobe person, there's all this. And I'm not respecting that whole organism, right? That whole mechanism, that whole machine, right? And guess what? I am a dumbass. Because if all these people are not seeing me respect the organism, the structure, right? Because it was a blob. And someone said, if not a blob, we believe in it. We're going to make it. We want it to walk and talk and move. We want it to be like an iron giant, right? That's what we want. Damn it. We want that. We need that. Right? And they put structure, they put everything in place, and they put work in. Just like an investigator. Nothing sucks worse than when somebody who has set up an investigation or set up a conference or set up, whatever, and they put all this work in. And they've got promises and guarantees and contracts, and people are like, well, it doesn't. Hollywood called, and I'm going to do that. They will have a receipt. The universe will come to collect. Trust me. Right? Trust me. Teachers. People always say, oh, they want me to teach. They want me to teach. They want me to teach. I had one person about a year ago say, hey, I want you to teach. They like how you do readings. And I do readings my own way. I learned during COVID, I was like, because I had Jack, we had Jack, and I couldn't be around people. I had to really do, and I've always been a researcher. I've always been an explorer. I had all these cards. I had all these books, and I kept on getting channel, deep dive, really get into it. Tell the story, beginning, middle, end. Do it. This is your way. And so I found my true love of doing the deep dive. I found it. That's what people say. Well, how do you do that? It was a creative endeavor. It was a blank page. It was a blank canvas. And I got to do it my way. And an investigation, you're an investigator, and you're going to do it your way. But there are rules, and there are regulations, and there are guidelines. And if they're not, then you need to know, at least you need to know, like, the sandbox theory. Like, what can I do in this sandbox? Whose sandbox is this? Because there's always a leader. In investigation, I don't care if you're like, oh, we're like this collective of people, and there's no leader. Bullshit. Someone brought you two together. Someone has talked to the client. Someone has put their name on the line. That is the leader. That is the boss. That is their name. That is their weight. Like in John Proctor says, in The Crucible, give me my name. It's all, the name's important. The name is important. As an investigator, as an actor, I can't tell you how important your name is. As a storyteller, as even a background actor, as a PA, right? What is attached to your name? I've been on both sides of that. When my name was like, oh, great, yeah, that's awesome. To like, oh, that eccentric son of a bitch. What the, like, fun, does work, but a little different. Everybody has to understand that you're going to be discovered when you're going to be discovered. You may be discovered when you're 45. You may be discovered when you're 18. You may be discovered by someone at a grocery store. And there's different levels of discovery. There really are. There are different levels of discovery. And there's some people who become famous. They become absolutely famous. They make tons of money, right? And they're still not happy. And then there are people who are discovered and they make mediocre money, and they're satisfied. They're proud of their work, right? You've seen investigators who maybe come out and investigate every 4 or 5 times a year because that's what they want to do. they've had the scars. They know. They're like, oh, I just want to investigate my friends. I just, it seems like a fun thing. It seems cool, right? Um, I could, I could sit back and watch Hulu, or I could sit back and watch Disney Plus, or I could sit back and watch Paramount. But my friends called me and want me to come up to Mexico, go down to Mexico, wants me to do this, want me to do that. I'm gonna do that. Discovery, how you are discovered, what you see and how you see it. Annette asked, about finding spirit guides and how you do that. Meditation. I recommend Pyrite above all. It's gold. It's creative. It's shiny. It has that angelic feel to it. It's good. It's a good thing. Look at that. Family, friends, and guides. You cannot make that shit up. Family, friends, and guides. And that's what next week's topic will be. How to say goodbye to family who passed, or friends, and how to engage your guides, and how to engage your guides properly. So that's the topics for next week. Peace. Virginia's favorite word. Peace. Just give me peace. Right? So, man, we've had a great night tonight. Right? 2 cards fell. I don't know where they went, but I hope I find them. So, but who's still here? Who's still watching? Because I'll go to 11. I'll just go to 11, and bring your friends. Y'all get online. Say, hey, let's go see Sootsy Bootsy. Let's go see Sootsy Bootsy. Let's go. Come on. Y'all gotta go see this crazy man. Annette's always here. Annette's been a long time supporter. She really has. It's unbelievable how supportive she's been. Let's bring out discovery of angel energy. All right, let's see. Passion. My heart is filled with the passion for life. To be an investigator, to be an artist, to be an actor, to do anything that you love, you have to have a passion for it. If you don't have a passion for it, go away. Right? Because there's the people there who are working their butt off, who have slept in cars, slept on couches, right? They've done it. They've done it, and they've done it a lot. And they're perfectly content. I hate that word, but they know, let me get this right. They put the work in. They know their worth. They put the sacrifice in. Hey, Carolyn Fox, how are you? So, symbols for passion would be red, which we all, the media has taken that to a whole other level. Dance, sparkling light. So passion, again, sparkling light, get a good light on pyrite. It's great. Sun, Mars. I really get more into zodiacs and astrology. It's like an actor learning chemistry or calculus. It's a lot of like stuff that's really hard for me. Like I like learning it and reading it is great, but actually like interpreting it is a little hard. Passion is not only the thrill of physical love, and that's something else. So, what is passion, and how do we show our passion? How do we show our passion without being over? We've all experienced that annoying person, right? I've been that annoying person. I probably am that annoying person to some people. But you need to identify all the aspects, right? All the aspects of your life that excite joy and enthusiasm in you. It's very important. I was telling Virginia, we were talking about the computer and we were talking about getting the camera. I was like, these are parts of my life that I miss. I miss them a lot, right? And I feel like when I have them, not that they're going to make me like this, right? But because they're parts of the puzzle, my puzzle that I'm putting together as I'm restructuring and rebranding and recreating me, right? After having deaths in the family, after having a death of a career and getting another career, after annoyance after annoyance after annoyance, after a huge blessing with Jack being born, and all these different things. I you as a writer, people, I used to say, oh, I'm a writer. I write every day, and then life gets in the way, and you forget to write. Like I used to read comic books every day, and I forget to read. And so I'm realizing things that I have to do for me. A passion. You have to find that loving woman or that loving man, right? That loving person is what's most important. You have to find that person who understands your passion, right? Now they don't have to share that passion with you. It's a lot. There's a lot of like mediums and intuitives. You'll have couples who get together, and then one person will fall out. They'll be like, "I'm not. It's not my thing." Right? That's not. I have discovered that that's not my thing. I wish it was, but that's not my thing. My thing is this, that, these, and those. And they find other ways to channel. Right? Isn't that just beautiful? Seed of light, man. Their wands are amazing. They find other ways. So passion. That's ask the angel of passion to give you signs that show you how to channel this positive energy into action for the greater good of all. Every investigation should start off with a power angel, right? A PA, where you are asking them to channel positivity. You don't know if this is a good place or a bad place. You don't know what this place is. You may have some histories and all that, but you don't know what a current environment is, especially if it's an abandoned building or anything like that. You don't know if there's snakes in there. You don't know if there's raccoons. You don't know if there's wasps. You don't know. You don't know if somebody had thought, oh, it'd be funny to booby trap it. You don't know. The more absurd, the more crazy. You don't know. You don't know if the client's going to go nuts. You don't know, right? You don't know if the client's having an affair and the spirit is one of I've actually had this encounter. We were in a house and the spirit that was acting out was related to the woman's husband, right? His side of the family. And this person was actively having an affair, right? Actively having an affair. And so all the information, all the stuff we got back was all about betrayal, was all about lies, was all about, and, because at the time we had an intuitive on the team and we had a medium, and the person came over and was like, look, I'm going to tell you, and we're not going to tell this person, but this is what's going on. And that's when you have to take a blob and you have to structure it correctly. And that's where when learning improv and learning the art of storytelling, taking someone else's words and bringing meaning and purpose to them, that's when this is very, very important. You have to be very, very delicate when you are investigating or when you're on set and you're talking to people. You have to be very, very delicate. You have to be very, very respectful, especially now. People are out to destroy you, and not even mean to, right? One person will say one thing, one person say that, blah, blah, blah. You, like you tell your kids, be on your best behavior times a billion, right? You only want them talking good. You don't ever want to give them any reason to be like, oh, because then they'll start pulling that red string, and eventually you'll be unraveled, and you don't want that. And then someone has to like put you back up, and you don't want that. So you want to ask that angel to reveal the cause. You want to ask that angel to reveal the cause. What can we do in this investigation tonight? Can you help us reveal? Can you help spirit reveal to us what we need to do? So, like in that case where the person was having an affair and spirit was reacting to her stuff, we had a choice. The investigator, who my fellow investigator's woman, said, and she was a medium. She said, "Okay, I'm going to talk to her, but I'm not gonna go just say hey, because that's not like in mediumship, what I call X factor rules. That's not my business. I'm not going to talk to you about your relationship. That's not my thing. Um, right? Big no. I went in my readings. So in this case, she was like, I've kind of been where this person's been before. Um, so I'm just going to ask her in a nice way around, is there anything that you've done to upset someone maybe on your spouse's side? And we all looked at her and we're like, that's your hill. That's your foxhole. Go right on ahead. We're going to, right? Because there was other stuff going on in the house at the time as well. But it was a very big part of it. We had to know, we had to focus. It was a very dangerous zone. We had to take very careful steps, right? Spirit reacts differently. I've told, the story about when I first met Virginia. I came home to smelling of flowers all over, flowers. I didn't know what the hell it was. And then Virginia said, "Oh, my grandmother owned a florist place." Oh, really? Well, that's good to know. And then recently, I will tell you, I've been smelling them again, so I know her grandmother's around. So it's it's different. We have to be aware. We have to focus. And when you're working on yourself, especially, it's always good to have those frequencies and those guides, things that you relate to in this universe, in this world, because when you have those, they're going to strengthen you. They're going to empower you. They're going to help your passion. If you go back and you watch the beginning of this video, I was all over. I was random, blah, blah, because I wanted people to know how it is being in the danger zone. How it is when people are talking all kinds of stupid, all kinds around. And some of it makes sense and some of it might not, right? But we have to get on the right path. We have to focus. We have to take steps. We have to find the right teachers, right? And the right teacher it might be a right teacher for a season, right? I can't tell you how many acting teachers that I know where they know that student will come in for, I don't know, a year or two and then leave. Like I said, one of the greatest teachers I ever had would kick people out of their classroom. I can't teach you anything anymore. But then would welcome them back and put them in the back of the classroom because the way he built the class, craziest damn. Greg Bach is just so amazing. And they were the veterans, and I don't even know if he did it on purpose, but the veterans would sit in the back, and they knew all those scenes like it was like back of your hand, like the back of your hand. And so John Boy could pop up, boom, do Hatful of Rain. And he knew it. John Boy knew it. John Boy could do it. He could do Hatful of Rain. He could do it. Like putting on another shirt. And this other guy had thought he knew the shit. He thought, oh my God, like I've done the analysis and pulled a suit, and was like, I know everything. I've done the research, blah, blah, blah. Right? But he didn't know it. As investigators, it's the same thing. If you think you know, you don't know. If you have to say what you are, then that's the problem. Right? When people ask what you do for a living, like now, people are like, what do you do for a living? Well, I work for right? What you do for a living is different than what you do. What you do for a living. That's because they want to know how you make money. But what do you do? That's what you have passion for. Right? And some people, I had people in an acting class who would say, and I have this rule too, when I teach, I don't want to know what shows you booked. That's not what you're here for. Right? And that would put my classrooms and everything in like, whoo, great. Like, oh my God, they're booking these shows. Because automatically I think if you're in this acting class and you're booking these shows, then you're booking these shows because you're in that acting class. And that's not the case. You're booking those shows because you got the opportunity to get an audition, right? By your agent or your manager, or the work you put outside of it, right? Doing social media, whatever. That's why you booked the show. And you booked the show because of what you learned in that class. Possibly. Maybe. If you feel inclined to say, oh, if you want to learn how to be a true storyteller, go to that person's class. I can tell you my experience. And that's what you don't hear a lot from a lot of people, right? You hear a lot of the old school people they'll talk about Strasberg like that, and they'll talk about Stanislavski like that, and Uta Hagen, right? With investigators, I'm betting it's the same way. I learned from this person, I learned from that person, right? And I learned not to do this and not do that because they chewed me out because I put up I said this when I should have said that. But I'm human. I'm human. So it's very clear. It's very clear. What's most important as investigators and as artists is to remember that we are healing lights. We're healing lights, and we always need to be optimistic. We always need to create a safe environment. It's very, very important. We have to channel safety. We have to channel creativity. We have to channel courage. We have to channel collaboration, and we have to channel healing. Investigators, they might not realize this. This is where I think a lot of times investigators come into a very bad situation. They're like, oh, what can we do? We can go film this, right? We go film it. And my friend knows a friend producer in like New York, LA. And man, let me tell you, like we just like put a splash here and like we get that picture of that beautiful girl walking in, right? And she's gorgeous, that handsome man, right? And they investigate and they don't even know what K2 is or EM meter is. Doesn't matter. Like they'll like want to be there. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Unfortunately, that's how some shit's sold. It is. Right? That's not saying you can't be handsome and beautiful and attractive and not know this business. That's very, very wrong. That's very, very wrong. There are many people who are beautiful and attractive and smart, and they know the business, and they know not only business, but they know the rules and regulations, the unwritten and the written. They know it. They've learned it. They have the scars, and they'll tell you the stories, probably over a couple of drinks, right? Or at a pub if you're in Ireland or somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, all you have to do is ask. If you don't know, ask. I'd rather know who has the weapons and who has the artillery and who has a knowledge base compared to those who don't. I want to know who I'm going to combat with. I want to know what foxhole I'm going, what hill I'm going up, right? What charge the bunkhouse am I going? What am I doing? I want to know. You want to know. But we have to be optimistic. We have to use Virginia's favorite word, peace. We have to be peaceful. We have to share that healing light. We have to know that every investigation should be a healing experience. Every investigation should be a healing experience. Can you imagine if every investigation that you went on was not about, ooh, this was a prison. Ooh, this was this. A sanitarium. Ooh, this was this. Right? Ooh, they shot a horror movie here. Oh my God, let me tell you, it was great. The blood dripping from the ceiling. Oh my God. Great. But if your focus was, hey, I'm here to help spirit. I'm here. I might not be a person, medium to help people cross over, right? I might not be this, that, these, and those, but I'm here in a respecting spirit. And my respect is putting the weight toward the healing light. If there is darkness, quote unquote, I'm bringing light. If there's a heaviness and a burden, I am bringing ease. If it's a blob, I'm helping it. My knowledge base and my experience, right, from my investigation, my data research of what it was and what it was not, is going to help get answers. And that's going to help heal. Because nothing sucks worse than misunderstanding, misinterpretations, right? We go back to that meme of the investigators. They're going, shaving haircut. And the ghosts are just like, what the fuck, man? We could tell them all the history in the world. We could tell them the winning lotto. They still wouldn't hear it. Because all they care about is their views on social media or their that, these, and those. That's all they care about. And spirit should not be looked at like that. When a person goes to see a medium, right, or an intuitive, that medium and that intuitive should take it like it is the most important hour and a half or 2 hours, or whatever it is, because that person, let me be all the money they have, and they want answers, and they feel like this is the only way. This is the way. This is their way. And they've given me or my colleagues the honor and privilege, right, to exchange that energy so that I can help them, so that I can show them who they are, so they can see, so I can be a mirror. That's what a lot of mediums are, and a lot of intuitives are just mirrors. We're mirrors, and they look at us, and they see, and they hear. I can't tell you how many sessions I've been in where the person's like, well, go back. Oh, are you serious? Like there was like a cherry there. Oh my God, my mom loved cherries. Oh my God, so much. Oh my God. She gave me those cherry sodas and they were so good. And I went, oh my God. That is like that nostalgic memory. Oh my God, it's so great. That's the shit we live for. Because I wasn't even thinking about the cherry. I wasn't even thinking about the cherry. All right, guys, it's been great. It's been love. It's been amazing. Y'all have been amazing. Next week, we're going to talk about spirit guides. We're going to talk about taking steps to, the ladder of success. How to decide on your spirit guides, right? How to say yay, no. What cards? I'll use different card decks too. Give y'all examples of card decks. If you're like, yay, I didn't know. One of the greatest stories about getting a spirit guide for somebody was I was sitting at my house and I was getting ready to channel, and spirit does this all the time for me. Said St. Mary. I'm like, what? And I just looked at some cards, and I was like, but it's not that St. Mary. I was like, no, you need to go research. And I was like, what? Like I'm not even started yet. Like I haven't even sat down. I haven't like put my incense on. I haven't done sleeping my white floors, right? I haven't cleansed my, whatever. And then when I was doing the session and I explained everything, it was the explanation of how I got the guide for the person, how I helped a person figure out this kind of frequency that gave them more insight into the whole reading. It's pretty crazy what we do. But it's not all fun and games. It is dangerous. It can be dangerous. I see there's kids doing this, and I've gotten some flack for what I say about this. Some kids shouldn't be, unless there's a parent who knows what the hell they're doing, like knows what they're doing, right, and is there. And if that kid got ghost sickness, let me tell you, a kid getting ghost sickness is something that is, whew. I mean, Virginia could. I wish Virginia could. She's in the back with Jack, but after last Sunday, y'all, I've done mediumship readings. I've been in psychic fairs and everything, right? Intuitive fairs. I was sick for 3 days. Not fault of spirit by any means. Fault of me because I didn't protect myself. I didn't say, "Hey, this is too much." Right? I was in the zone, but I didn't realize it was a dangerous zone, and I have to be aware. I have to focus. We have to focus. Our healing light. We have to be optimistic. We have to. So for the two people watching, I'm pulling you 2 cards. All right. Stuck energy. Annette, so ghost sickness, different people will say different things. But what it is the way I explain to people, remember when you're going through an old house and there's cobwebs, right? And the cobwebs get on you and you're home the next day and you thought you got all the cobwebs off. And then you look down and there's a bite on your hand. It's a big bite and it hurts like hell. and you're like, oh, and you start thinking, why I have a bite, and oh shit, is a spider still, ghost sickness is your brain overworking your body, in my opinion, because your energy, your emotion, your life force has been in contact with another force. And so it's balancing itself. And so, like with my experience, if you go back and watch last week's video, I was coughing. The person had issue, and I had a headache. Person had issue with their head, and I had multiple spirits at once. And I had not told my team, right, because I would not properly take the proper steps. I'm a human being, and I got excited. It happens. Um, but because I did not get my team up, I did not get my shields up like I should. I didn't put my I didn't put all my necklaces on like I usually do, or set my table like I usually do for mediumship. Which is a reminder. Like with mediumship, I usually set the table. I do it, so I have to now do that on Sundays. Now I didn't even think about it until recently. I have to do, all my work. I have a process. I get up in the morning. I have my little Buddhas. I love, light, harmony, happiness, all that stuff. Bring those into my life. Ghost sickness to me is an overworking of your consciousness and your subconsciousness, and trying to get that balance back. And so it's like I'm riding a really fast roller coaster and eating like a lot of bad, greasy food. And you just know, you can imagine what that is. It could be a very bad situation. Very bad, depending on your metal as a human being and your stomach. So ghost sickness is when you're around spirit too much and you're going through different energy frequencies. And so if you're going through different frequencies and different quote unquote blobs, you're getting slimed. Just imagine like Ghostbusters, you're getting slimed. You're constantly getting slimed. So you can also become very weighted down, and you can get very, very tired, and you get very, very drained, because as we all know, spirit will use all the energies it can. It doesn't intentionally mean, you could just be communicating, but spirit has to have an energy source. Has to, right? In theory. I shouldn't say has to, but we're taught to, in theory, has an energy source. So I was that energy source, and I was just letting it go. It's like that. The way I explain ghost sickness is, like the vampire movies, when the vampire would cut their arm, right, and let them feed, like, and then the person would be like, "Oh, stop." Well, it just kept going and going and going and going, and I should have been like, "Stop," right? We have to learn. Again, use your teachers. Don't get stuck in that energy frequency exchange. You got to know what the hell you're doing. Okay. All right. Because I said I was going to pull cards from this, I'm going to pull them right now. Metatron. Here we go. Oh, that's great. Okay. So the first card we got was light body. And this is what you need on every investigation, is a light body. You don't want a heavy body. You want a body of illumination. You want a body of love, light, healing, light, optimism. You want your chakras as much aligned with you as possible, right? Like I've said to many a times, some people will never be fully aligned. It's just not who they are. Like my intuitive eye chakra is one way. My grounding is one way. My heart is aligned one way. My alignment's my alignment. Your alignment's your alignment. Your faith is your faith. My faith is my faith. As long as I'm doing good for me and not hurting anyone else, right? As long as I know what I'm doing and practicing safe procedures, safe protocol, I'm good. You want a light body. You need that alignment. Look at that. Heart chakra. We just talked about heart. Green. You want to have an open heart with these investigations. And when you're on a set, you want to have an open heart. You will be compassionate. You don't want to be taken advantage of. You want to know your worth. Relationships the same way. I think this is from somebody on here who's going to watch this later. Your heart is your heart. If you want to give it to somebody, great. But know your worth before you give it away. Evolution, birthing the new. We got another birthing the new here, right? So someone is thinking about, as I said that, my thing said charge complete. Isn't that cool? Evolution, birthing the new. We've got a lot of grounding here. Remember, we got a lot of passion here, a lot of creativity. So you got grounding and creativity, and you've got a lot of female and masculine energy coming in with this creation, this evolution, right? As above, so below. I highly recommend anybody who is a medium or intuitive to get you an obelisk. If you're a medium, get a aventurine obelisk and get you a obsidian obelisk. Right? I think it's very important. Heart protection, highly important, and investigations. You don't have a lot of people, because a lot of people don't bring that stuff into those kind of things. Like I had Autumn create, where's channel? Oh, let me show you channel or bridge, excuse me. I had Autumn create channel for me and bridge when I go on investigations. This is relationship, lepidolite, that's garnet. That's my bridge. Regenerating relationship. And I'm understanding, and I have spirit, so I'm regenerating spirit too. And so I have pyrite there. So I'm focusing, right? I'm doing those things. Heaven and earth, as above, so below. We also, on set and in investigations, we need to go with the flow. We don't need to think that we are the big dog, right? We need to go with the flow. We need to be there. We need to enjoy it, right? We need to learn from our experience, right? Learn what you like to do, learn what you don't like to do. Learn this kind of investigation I'll go on. That's kind of good. Look at that. We got healing again. So it's a lot about healing. I truly believe storytelling is one of the greatest forms of healing. That's why I call myself the intuitive storyteller. I was the eccentric medium for a very long time, and I still am. I mean, my mediumship, as y'all could tell last week, was very, very eccentric and way out there. But I'm the intuitive storyteller. And you have all your chakras here. You have that alignment, that light body. White, purity and innocence. A lot of people will go into investigations and go onto sets as pure as driven snow, right? Pure as driven Minnesota snow. And this white celestial energy. And our job is to keep them like this as long as possible. Really is. That does not mean that we're invading their boundaries. Does not mean that we're, and I did this a lot. I took on this role of like, ooh, protector, and a lot of people will get annoyed. But I want people to be safe. I want people to be safe in this industry, both industries. You will get your scars, you will get your fractures. That will happen. You don't have to dive headfirst into the shallow pool, right? Just be like, ooh, I'm gonna do something. You don't have to do that. You see here, it's got white and purple. So you have your intuition, right? And you have that celestial energy. So spirit and celestial energy. You know, a lot of people think about spirit, right? And they're like, ooh, spirit flying up. I think about spirit more in the sense of it's a grounding, it's a force here, right? It's a force here. Celestial is up in the celestial body, but spirit is here. It's all around. It's those frequencies. I can't tell you how much I use the term frequency because I think it's so important. The vibration. I'll give you an example. I could feel Virginia being telling me, like, you need to wrap this up. But that's okay. I'm about to wrap it up. To me, those are frequencies, and that's a sound, and that sound resonates with me. So my yellow frequency is my creative frequency, right? But again, on sets, on location, you're going to have innocent people. Your job is to teach them. Your job is to take them under your wing. Your job is to be their protector. Um, Now, they may not want that, and that's also your job. You have to respect that. Like, okay, I offered, they didn't want it. And they'll come back to you later. Promise you they will, and be like, will you train me, please? Will you train me? Will you? And that's fine. Purity and innocence. There's so many different forms, right? So many different forms of purity and innocence. Good heart, good soul, good mind, good body, that light body, that aligned chakras. It's so funny. Everybody wants to have alignment. They want this purity and innocence. They want it. They want to feel that again. That's what alignment does for me, at least. It makes me feel pure. It makes me feel like I'm not guilty. I'm innocent. You know. And then we finally close with light body. And I'm gonna open the book here to see what the book says, and then we'll go. Oh, wait. 2 more cards. They wanted to come out, so let's do it. Archangel Sandalphon is with you now. So I guess that might be somebody's guide. And then endings. Isn't that cool? We're about to end and ending shows up. There's always a sun. There's always going to be a sunshine. Right? Authentic self, who you are. Isn't that great? That's awesome. Blessings and thanks. I give you blessings and I give you thanks. We'll open this book and then we'll call it a night. Metatron Rainbow Bridge. The Rainbow Bridge is never closed. It's always open and offers a portal through which you can be in touch with those you have loved but have now passed over. Archangel Metatron watches over this bridge and helps carry those who are dying over it when their time to complete their earthly incarnation is done. No one crosses over the bridge before their soul has agreed to go. It's a bridge of light that eases transition, comforts the soul, and signals to those waiting to greet the new, tired soul that a celebration on the other side of the veil is to happen. Healing and recuperation may also be needed. So this is organized too. No one crosses the rainbow bridge alone. And all are met by angels and by those whom they have known in this life as well as in past lives. You are pulling this card to remind you those you love are still with you. You may no longer be able to see them in a physical form, but they are just as real in spiritual form as they ever were to you. Their love for you remains strong, and they are around you now, bringing comfort, support, and love, just as they would have done if they were still here on earth. Where they now reside is across the rainbow bridge, but you are always joined with them. Just as the rainbow bridge has 1 foot in heaven and 1 foot on earth, above as below, you are entwined as you always were. Love cannot die, it simply changes and evolves. It may be that you struggle to feel your loved one's spirit, but rest assured, they are with you. Look for the signs. A simple scent in the air. Can't make that shit up, guys. Come on. A soft breeze. Whoa. Whoa. Did y'all all feel that? I know. Whoa, that was weird. Whoa. A feather where you least expect it. Sunlight pouring into a shaded room. Messages from the other side are varied and will increase at times when you struggle with grief and acceptance of what is rather than what was. You are encouraged to grieve if you need to. Allow Metatron to hold you and help you, but also to live your life now anew, with firm intent and commitment to the life force in you, and a day still left to spend on the side of the rainbow bridge. One day you'll be reunited with those you have lost, but not yet, and not now. Both they and the Archangel Metatron urge you to live, love, and enjoy the life you have. An incarnation never to be repeated again, with the blessings and gifts you now possess. Just as the rainbow requires rain and sunlight to create it, so too must a life include the joyful times and sad times. Colors of experience, growth, and energy that interweave to make you unique, the being that you are. Remember, you are loved here on earth and in heaven. Metatron stands as an in between point, helping you to feel it all. Pulling this card may also imply that you have special gifts for offering help to those who grieve or the sick and dying. It also is often chosen by those who are able to convey messages to spirit to help others. Well, ain't that some stuff? Y'all have been amazing. Thank you so much. Make sure you send love and light to everyone this week. You are optimistic. You are the healing light. We're helping people get out of this stuck energy. We're moving forward. We're calling wisdom in. We're calling love in. We're bringing in change. We're bringing in change. We're going to ask for those messages. You know, Annette, if you want to talk to spirit frequency, just say, "Hey, spirit frequency, will you come see me in my dreams?" Right? Make sure you're insulated. You want to be insulated. You want to be protected. I want to grant you all a channel, an open bridge to rebuilding relationships, right? Regenerating those bridges and growing. Receive your messages wherever they come from. And like the great mountain, like the goat, right, who can climb the mountain, you can too. Receive your messages. Be born anew. Onward, upward. Greatness abounds. Soak up that humanity. Create your art and make your impact. We're the army of now, so there'll be no armies tomorrow. No, our children will run the fields, dive the ponds, oceans. They will go deep. They will go deep. They will learn I'm perfect exactly as I am. I'm perfect as I am right here and right now. I'm enough. I'm with all of life. Let's hope that's the future. We can make it the future. Uga Sooth, onward, upward, greatness abounds. Soak up that humanity. Create your art. Make your impact. See y'all next week, 8:30. We're going to talk about how to find your guides, how to say goodbye to your loved ones, how to not be stuck in energy and fragmented energy, how to bring the energy together and say goodbye, right? How to put the pieces of the puzzle of grief together. All right. So bring your friends and your colleagues, bring them to the Wolf's Bear Den. We're going to raise some glasses. We're going to raise some flasks. We're going to make some happiness. We're going to do some greatness. Y'all been great. Thank you. Thank you to Greg. Amazing how time works. Thank you to the team who was like, "Oh, Greg's not on tonight. Keep on going." Thank y'all. Love y'all. Y'all have a great night. Uga Sooth, I'm out of here. Tell your friends and tell your colleagues and your enemies. Bye-bye.